Hello there. Karibu Architectural Diligence. This is a place where we share content. We prepare for you materials that are good for your real estate processes, for your land ownership processes, for your construction. So we basically share the knowledge that we have, the knowledge that we've been able to gather over the years. So I would request that take a minute or a second, like this video, because it's by liking this kind of a video that you help us create more videos, and we're able to reach out to more people in terms of talking about real estate on this platform we are calling Architectural Diligence. Today I'm on a site, and I'll basically touch on a few aspects that are critical during the finishes work, the final lap of you putting a hole, and I'll focus on the external works and what are these external works that you need to look at so that you don't overlook some of them. So join me on this video as I showcase some of these works that are critical for your external works. So the first is basically your landscape, and as you can see, the client here has been able to prepare the site properly. Actually, you can actually see even the manure is in place. Now we are waiting, doing the planting of the glass, and the client is in the process of choosing the kind of glass that he'll be able to put up. The other aspect that is critical on the external works is your boundary wall. In this case, you can see the client has opted to go with a clear view, because for this estate that is Herencia, you're only allowed to do a few foundation walling, and then you do your picket wall, your clear view. So the client has gone with a clear view in this case as part of securing their site, and then he has opted to go with foundation stone. These are basically hard chisel stone that have been used for the boundary on the lower side. As you can notice, in terms of levels, where I'm standing is a lower level. So this wall is basically a retaining wall, and it is retaining the soils from the neighboring site. Let me just show it. You can actually see the level on that point. Yeah, you can see the levels. So this is a critical aspect on external work processes. Ensure that your wall retains the ground of the neighbor, so that at least you're able to have a flat bed in terms of your landscape. So that's what the client has done on that point. So the first level is the landscaping aspect. Ensure that the levels are okay, and if the site is healing, you can either cut and fill as the client has done in this place, or you can actually stagger the site in levels, so it will go with what you are looking at. The other aspect that is critical, and I will basically use what is happening on this ground as an example of site work. Sometimes you may need some buffer water, and in this case the client is actually digging a well to make sure that his landscape does not lack in water. So that's a process that is also good if you want to do a well on your site over and above the borehole and county water. Is also critical. The other critical aspect is your underlays in terms of piping, power reticulation, water reticulation. Ensure those things are done before the landscape is done, so at least to avoid destroying the landscape. So in this case, you can actually see the power line, the cables has been run, and they are already in place. The other critical point is in terms of your drainage. What you can see here, these are manholes that have been put in place. And what I would want you to look at critically is on the levels. You can actually see the change of level from the house cutting to the manhole. So this is important to make sure that the water or the dirt does not splash onto the upper slab. So that's critical. Those are some of the critical aspects on the plumbing. So make sure the plumbings are well laid, your manholes are in place, and it's good actually we can be able to see even some of the down pipes from this place. Yeah. So basically it means that this feature on that wall has actually carried some down pipes away from the roof, and these are the pipes that you can actually see coming down on this point. Okay. The other aspect that critical is basically some of the inspection chambers that are critical. The other aspect of an external work is your parking. You can actually see now the foundation works of the parking have been laid, the curb have been put in place, the foundation, the underlay has been put in place, and now the dust has been put, now awaiting laying of the cablo. So that's critical. And you can actually see the site is prudent. They have a leveling machine to ensure that these levels are put in place. So what you see here is a parking lot that is being put in place to ensure that it now receives the cabro as a finished material. But before we do the cabro, basically these are some of the things that must go through in terms of preparation. You can actually see the landscape. This is some of the manure that is being used to be able to, it actually shall be used on this area to make sure that the landscape is properly done. And actually the other thing that has actually been done in here, the sprinklers, there are some landscaping sprinklers that are already in place to be able to water the landscape. Yeah. So basically that's some of the external works that are critical. And of critical actually also here, you can actually see the manhole. Okay. Manholes is a big component on external works because these help you to bring out the grey water from the house. You can see the pipings from the house. Okay. It's a pipe from the house. And also for importance is the level between the landscape level and the floor level of the house. Okay. So these are some of the external works that are critical to look at. You can see the downpipe. Again, what is interesting on a site, that feature that has become a beautiful feature for the house also has become the point where the downpipe has been put in place. So these are some of the things that your architect will be able to advise you, so that at least as they design the building, they incorporate some of these the beauty features to encase some of these pipes. You can actually look at that. These are some of the manholes. Okay. So basically these are, the client is at the final stages of finishing up their external works, the clear view, able to see it. So this channel helps you to see the raw site as it is. This is now the backyard. There's a backyard. And as well, the works are continuing. They're just finalizing on the manholes here. And the other critical component is the kennel. You can actually see the dog kennel at the back, which is still an aspect of external work. Okay, make sure that the kennel is in place. And you'll be surprised that where this kennel is sitting on is an underground tank. Okay, it's actually 5,000 liters underground tank. It is basically a concrete tank. Then we have a laundry area. Okay, it's an external laundry area that you can have in place. You have the floor trap. Okay, the down pipes. So these are some of the external works that are critical, so that you don't ask, my dogs don't have a kennel where they need to stay. Then in terms of the powering, you see some of these infrastructure, they are very important. Okay, there you can see there is power cable, there is the data. Okay, so before this manhole is completed, you can actually see the big cable and the small cables. Those are power cables and the internet cables. Critical aspects for the external works. Don't overlook at them, because you'll start cutting your slab and your landscape. And what is important as a client, through your consultants, ensure that on a weekend when you're on site, you prepare a snag list, and so that when you get to site, you tick a snag list is basically a list that will help you to check, to confirm that some of these things have been done. The other aspect, in this case, the client has their laundry area, another internal laundry area that is indoors, that is still under construction. Okay, so it's also good to make sure that you have adequate power point, because you'll also have machines here, the socket. Okay, so as I was saying, have your snag list to make sure that at least you're able to check all those aspects. Maybe just to show you a bit of the house. Okay, so this is a door to the pantry area. Okay, so these are basically the finishing period of the, so this is a kitchen. So the tiling has been done for the entire wall. So for this kitchen is basically an industrial produced kitchen. So the kitchen shall come ready and it will be assembled on site. Okay, so tiling has been done. The floor is already done, as you can see. The ceiling with the downlighters. Of course, it's a gypsum, some ceiling. It's already done. So you can see it. Okay. So these are critical processes as an intricate aspect. If you're buying a home, if you're buying an apartment, kindly visit the site as they do the construction. Don't just look at the images, the renders. Walk there and be able to look at it. So that's the kitchen. So the doors are now being fixed. This is the door to the kitchen. So I'll just give you a preview. I'll be able to do a proper video on these finishes. Okay. So the floor is a timber floor. This is the sitting area. What you see there is a main door. Okay. So snagging is very critical. Okay. As you can see, there's a change that has been done there. This is why you need a site visit to discuss with your client and the consultant on some of the changes that need to be done on site. Okay. That's how the sitting look like. Okay. The sitting. Then that's the dining area. So I'll come back and be able to showcase this house in length. So at least we discuss, this video is basically showcasing the external works. We'll come back and be able to look at the internal works. There's the staircase, in terms of timber work. So basically that's it in terms of the internal. So let me get back to the external, so at least I show you a bit of the gate and the drainage works that you need to carry out at the point where your plot borders the road. So it's critically, due diligence is something that is important. In whichever format you may look at, always do it every time. Okay, you can actually see some of the works are still ongoing. Okay, there's a manhole. Okay, it's a manhole that will get water from the council pipe. Okay, so as I said, this is now the main gate, the sliding gate as a component of external work. Of course, as per now, the machine has not been put in place, but as time goes, the machine will be on this corner where the fundi is now doing a PowerPoint. Okay, then we have the intercept. You can actually see the sliding bar. You basically use an angle line. Okay, now this is external point of the road, as we are now carrying out the drainage. Been able to lay the culvert. Okay, so at least we ensure that the water flows as a culvert as part of external works, so that from the road to your gate, you don't have challenges of water from the road. So basically, Those are some of the critical aspects that we look at for the external works, and we're able to share more and more. These are just a few in a residential house. We're able to look at what needs to be done on an apartment, on a commercial building, so that at least your boutique building require a good landscape. And research has shown that 15% of the building value or your house value is contributed by the proper landscape. So ensure that your landscape is good, and get professionals to help you do the landscape. So asante sana. Once more, do like our page so that we're able to help you create more materials of this nature. See you in the next one.